Hello and welcome to Leading Real Life. We are your hosts, Robin Shannon Olsen, and it is our goal to help you step into your role as leader in your life and in your home.
Man, you're so much better at that than me.
Am I not so good?
Oh, you almost were like, am I not so much better than you?
Oh,
That's what you wanted to say.
yeah. So this week we are going to be just sort of straying away from what we said we would be doing this week.
Yeah.
We had planned to post an episode about how our kids are perfect, but we had a thought because there's a new movie that came out just a week ago called Turning Red.
Yes.
And for some reason, it stirred up a lot of controversy. So we just wanted to get on right away and talk to that. So before we get into that, I just want to remind you that you can find us on all the different social media platforms. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and if you would be so kind as to rate this, give us a review, we would appreciate it very much.
We would love it. We would love thumbs ups too.
Yes.
We would love discussion.
We love it.
Love it.
That would be great.
Awesome.
So, all right, enough of that. Okay.
So let's get right into Turning Red.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yes.
have you seen it?
I have seen it.
I know, me too. We watched it together.
Yes, we did.
And how did you feel about it?
You know, I loved it.
Okay.
So we watched it. We laughed, like our whole family laughed so hard through the whole movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that was a funny movie. Get off and like almost immediately see someone talking about it on Facebook about how horrible they thought it was and what a bad message they thought it sent to kids. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't get that at all. So then as the week went on, I keep seeing this more and more and more and more. And I feel like it's something we could talk about.
Yeah. So first off, let's get this out of the way. If you didn't like the movie, that is perfectly okay. You are not forced to like the movie.
No.
It's completely fine.
Yeah.
However, does it deserve this sort of ultra negative attention that it's getting? Because honestly, the outrage is beyond what we are seeing with any other Disney movie.
I know. And it honestly surprised me so much. Like, I did not expect that reaction at all. Like, I've seen full-on essays just about of like pointing out every single thing that is problematic about the
somebody
movie.
seriously watched and then rewatched so that they could make a list. Every little thing. And it's like somebody didn't have like 50 things or something like that.
And I think that's what's been bugging me so much. It's not so much that people didn't like it. Like, I really could care less if you liked or didn't like the movie.
No, for sure.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion.
Absolutely.
The problem to me is it's like, this is a warning to all the parents out there. And it's just outrage culture. And it's a movie.
So you know what it makes me think of? When in the 90s, when I was young, there was moms wearing their mom pants who would go around complaining about everything that might affect the children.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Video games, it's gonna lead you to hell.
Care Bears.
Rock and roll. Care Bears.
Trolls.
Rock and roll music. It's a tool of the devil.
Oh, it just clearly
It reminds me of that.
It does, and it shows that every generation has to find their thing that they have to speak out against, and it's always something that is sort of pop culture.
Yeah.
And not something that I think needs to be given so much
time, effort.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why people are going above and beyond to complain.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put some context on this. Disney has been making movies for decades.
Yes, they have.
So let's get problematic about some of their shows then. I love Disney.
Yeah.
But if we're going to do this list of all the evils of Disney, let's talk about Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Stockholm Syndrome. Right? Like an abusive relationship.
Yep.
She falls in love with a monster. She falls in love with an animal.
Exactly.
Like he's got dog breath.
And she doesn't, she disobeys her father. She's trying to save him, yes, but she still disobeys him.
Completely disobeys him.
Sends him off and takes his place. Noble, sure. But if we're going to be talking about disobedience, well...
Okay, let's talk about disobedience. Little Mermaid.
Oh, wow. That is a huge problem. She went to a sea witch
Yes.
to get legs.
Yes.
To go be with a man that she didn't know.
Yes. And in her song, she's literally like, yeah, but I just need more.
Yeah.
I don't have enough. My dad's only the king of the ocean.
Oh, my God.
I don't have enough. All I want is more.
Yeah, exactly.
Merida. Oh, was she disrespectful to her mom?
She bought a curse from a witch to curse her mother because she was so independent that she wanted to curse her mother so that she would be allowed to do her own thing.
Where was the outrage there?
There's none. And not only that, we're like, Merida is strong and brave. She's awesome.
Yes, we are that way. And that's problematic, and I think there's other issues that go around that.
We can find an issue in every single Disney movie if we so choose.
Oh, for sure we can. But, okay. So these are fantasy.
Yes.
Like, let's remember that these are fantasy.
Yes.
They are not true.
No.
There isn't an actual witch that a red-haired girl went to in order to turn her mom into a bear. Likewise, there isn't actually a little Asian girl who becomes a panda.
No, exactly.
So, what about this movie then specifically? There are complaints. What are they?
Okay, so the things that people don't like. So, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this movie, we're going to be talking details about the movie. So, if you don't want to know, go watch the movie first and then come back. But if you don't care, keep listening.
Good on you. I would have just blabbed it all out for them.
The movie's only been out for a week.
Yeah, I'd have just been like, so this is what happens.
Mind you, with the amount of posts about it, everyone's probably seen all the problems. But
you're a better person than me.
So here are some of the problems, and I'm not even going to be reading the full list.
Yes.
I'm just hitting
Well, it was
the
like
main.
gigantic for.
It was huge. Okay, so first of all, people did not like that they talked about puberty.
What?
Yeah.
They talked about. Oh wait, I watched the movie. Yeah, I mean, okay, puberty. So. This is a thing.
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna just list them all.
Let's list them and then let's talk about them. Disobedience. They didn't like that the daughter, disobeys her mother, and she is a snotty brat, 100%.
For sure. I've never had my child be a snotty brat.
No, never. People just think the theme in general is too mature. Just overall, like, so they're not just talking about puberty. Mm-hmm. She has some drawings.
Oh, sexy pictures.
We're gonna get into that more. And then awesome. I think people had issues with the Asian religion.
Oh gosh, okay. Yeah.
Right? Like, I did see someone that said this does not honor God.
So Christians.
I am gonna have to say I don't know any Disney movie that has been made to honor God. They're for entertainment purposes.
Yeah. So Christians are.
Yeah, that's a big part of the problem.
Yeah, just so you know, I am a Christian, and so is my wife.
Yeah. We just want to come at this with an alternate view because this is all I've seen coming from Christians especially is how horrible this movie is and how it's going to turn their children into terrible disobedient monsters.
So that has less to do with turning red and more to do with parenting.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so you know. All right, so let's get into it then.
Okay.
Puberty.
Yeah. Okay. So shock of all shocks.
That's something that happens?
That's something that
everyone?
happens to everyone.
Oh my. Well, we shouldn't talk about it.
No. This is something that is private and we don't ever want to talk. We don't ever want to make 13-year-old girls feel like what they're going through is normal.
Well, and that's a huge part of it, right? Is that when we can talk about it, when we see that other people are going through it, and even make light of some of it, right? It takes off the weight.
Yeah.
Because honestly, and for boys too, going through that change is traumatic almost.
Yeah. Well, and it's embarrassing, right? Okay, so the big scene in the movie at the beginning is this there's a couple really traumatic moments for the character where one, her mother discovers these drawings that she'd made of a boy and just goes rage and embarrasses her to
Yeah.
the nth degree.
What are you doing to my daughter?
It was insane. And then the next part is her mom thinks she's had her period.
Yes.
And so she comes with all of the pads and all of the things. Here's, I've got ibuprofen, I've got hot water bottle, I've got all these things. And it's like...
Life.
Yeah. And is it embarrassing? Sure. but this is life,
Yeah.
right? And why is it such a bad thing that we want to normalize something that happens to every woman?
Well, and don't we see this in a
Every
lot
girl,
of
I should
other
say.
places too? Like, isn't that struggle there with breastfeeding?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
There's so, even just talking about sex, and especially in the Christian world, right? I mean, that's why we had purity culture,
Yeah.
which honestly damaged
So
many people.
Oh, my gosh.
And like, we're doing the same thing over again,
Yeah.
not being able to talk about puberty.
Yeah.
This is a natural change in the body, and it was ordained by God.
Yeah.
Right?
And-
Like, if you believe in creation, you believe God created people, he made it this way.
Exactly.
To not be able to talk about it is, to me, immature.
Absolutely. And like this movie was able to address it in a funny, lighthearted manner,
Yeah.
in a way that makes you go, oh, okay, yeah. Like this is funny and I'm embarrassed for her, but you know, this is normal part of growing up. And it's okay for our younger kids to see that. They're
Yes.
going to fully understand. No, like when Lainey's 2, she didn't have a clue what was going on. She
Yes.
just thought it was funny, right?
Yes.
Zoe, who
Yeah.
is almost 8, is starting to know that this is a thing, right? This doesn't mean that it has to be a big embarrassing conversation with her about it.
No.
And Sam, our son, it didn't seem to affect him in the least.
No.
Right? Because kids learn about this stuff in school, I think starting in like grade 4.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. So, like, get past that part. If you
Yeah.
can't get past that part, that's fine. I would worry that, like, there's hangups there.
Yeah.
And I would encourage you to, you don't have to like the movie or watch the movie,
No.
but just sort of maybe investigate in yourself. Why am I struggling with
Yeah.
this puberty thing
Yeah.
so much? Because like, it's something you're going to have to talk to your kids about
Yeah,
at some
exactly.
point, because they learn about this well before many people start talking to them about it.
It's true. And I think the thing is the thing I was thinking was with these lists that everybody's making, if we're going to go that far, then let's think deeper about it, right? Because
of
there are
course.
so many really, really good messages that we
Yes.
can find in this movie.
Yeah.
Does that mean that every part of it is perfect? Of course not.
Yeah.
There are things that we're not going to agree with in it, just like any other movie.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we can't find important messages that we can talk to our kids about.
Sure. We're going to talk about some of those important messages, right? Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about the disobedience part.
Right.
Okay. So yes, I mean, honestly, it is a theme in TV and movies since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
You have to call out almost every show with a child in it if you are all worried about disobedience.
Yeah.
Except maybe like Leave It to Beaver. I don't know. One of those old shows.
I bet you there was an episode where Beaver didn't listen.
I have no idea because nobody
neither.
watches Leave It to Beaver. But
I even think about Full House. I remember an episode where DJ, I don't know. I'm sure there was lots of episodes.
Yeah.
And it allowed for a moment at the end where they could sit and have a heart-to-heart about
Yes.
why it's important to
Yes.
listen. And this movie does the same.
yes. And so maybe there was a bit of an issue with her doing that twerk, or she was
Yeah.
like rubbing her butt on her mom or something like that.
When she's a bear, let's be clear. Or not a bear, she's a panda. Oh my gosh.
That was funny.
That was the thing they said in the movie. You're a bear. No, she's a red panda. And then I just did it.
yeah. But I'm sorry, that part was funny.
It
So
was
I mean,
funny.
maybe get a sense of humor. Okay. But the disobedience is honestly something that you could look at as a parent and go, "Wow, you know what? It is across the board."
Yeah.
And this is something that you even utilized to talk to our child
Exactly.
in the moment
Yes.
about what that looks like.
And it didn't have to be a big thing, right?
No.
Zoe's watching it, and I go, you know that this isn't an okay way to treat your parents, right? Yeah, I know.
Good. Right on.
That's simple.
Exactly.
Right?
Super simple.
It
Address the
doesn't-
issue.
Yeah. And I think, so what I've read is people say it glorifies disobedience. And I'm going to have to say I completely disagree with that.
Yeah, because she comes around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, again, spoiler, at the end of the movie, like there is a moment where there is a huge confrontation, and let's just talk about storytelling in general. Storytelling has a hero. They have a pivotal moment in their life where they choose to go one way or the other, right? And so it comes to a head when the mother, who is also has this panda, has beyond gone red
Yes.
with her
yes.
character,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
She lost her mind. And she's gigantic. She's bigger than the CN Tower. Okay,
Yeah.
she's huge.
Yeah.
And Mei, the main character, confronts her mother and is like, this is who I am, deal with it, okay? Yeah. Bad attitude, sure, bad attitude. But there comes a moment when the mother is taken down and all of a sudden you see it click in Maymay, like, I did something wrong.
That's right.
I went too far.
Yes.
And this isn't okay.
Yeah.
And then the remainder of the movie is them reconnecting and figuring out how to relate to each other as mother and daughter.
That's right.
And it heals their relationship.
That's right. We actually talk about this in a future episode when we talk about how to love our kids and the importance of actually celebrating stuff that they need to learn.
Yes.
Right? And so, like, yes, Maymay discovered this, and honestly, in all of us, we need to remember that has happened many times over through our childhood. Yes. Unless you're that perfect kid who was only ever perfect.
Right.
But, like, I call baloney on that.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is we all had those moments where we went too far.
Yeah.
We took it too far, and what did we do? Did we just continue on, or did we stop and learn? Well, Maymay stopped and learned.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we need to actually just sort of step back and grab that. Okay.
And so, so from there, we can talk about why did this outburst happen in the first place?
Okay.
What caused her to become this way and be disobedient to her parents? Well, we had an over-controlling mother.
Yeah.
Right? Who basically said, this is who you are supposed to be.
Yes.
And Maymay, who is a people pleaser, she just wants to do right by her parents, right?
Yep.
She wants to make them happy, and she wants to be, get all these achievements for her parents. But then when she goes through this change, she discovers that isn't completely who she is, and she can't live up to these expectations.
Yes, that's right.
And there is a point in all of our children's lives where they stop being who we want them to be and become themselves.
Yes.
And often that is around that adolescent stage, right?
Yeah.
Where we go through this change and go, wait, I can like things that aren't my parents.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's super important for their development.
Yeah. And so as parents, we can look at this movie and go, you know what? Yeah, that mother was problematic, like hugely.
I bet you that mother had like a 50-point list that talked about all the wrong things in the movie that Maymay would have watched.
But like, this is a huge, huge, huge thing that we can take from this movie as parents.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just kids that can learn lessons. We can learn lessons and say, yeah, our kids shouldn't be conformed to just what we expect of them and what we want of them. They are individuals and they are their own people.
That's right. Absolutely agreed. Okay, so we spent a lot of time on disobedience, but let's move on. Theme is too mature.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Well, because 13-year-old girl, she suddenly discovers that she likes boys.
What?
I know.
13-year-old girls like boys?
That's crazy.
Grade 8? Come on, that's actually late.
That's true. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I started liking boys.
You liked starting boys?
Yeah, in like grade 5.
Yeah, right? I liked girls in kindergarten, just so you know.
So there's this scene where she's like talking to herself and she's like sketching in her little notebook and she starts drawing a picture of a boy, right? And suddenly as she's drawing the picture of the boy, she's like, oh, wait, maybe I do like this boy. And so she draws all these pictures and she calls them sexy pictures. Mm-hmm. Which is like
hilarious.
The 13-year-old girl's perspective of what sexy is. Like they're just goofy pictures that she drew.
Yes.
Right? And so people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're talking about sexiness.
Yeah,
like,
there's the word sexy in there. A kid does not know that word.
Okay. I'm sorry. We're probably like being too flippant about people's opinion of this movie, but I just don't get it. Like and I don't mean to offend, but we need to just settle down a little bit.
Yes. And if this offends, I mean, so be it. Because like what I see is people who are trying to express their faith through this. Yeah. And what ends up happening is that people are known for what you're against rather than what you're for.
Yes.
Right?
That's
and we are supposed to be people of love, not people who are amazing at following rules that we set up for other people.
Yeah.
Like that is silliness to me. And so if it makes people angry, wrestle with that.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I'm not actually angry at these people.
No, I just disagree.
And I'm a little like maybe exhausted by it.
It just makes me roll my eyes, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so then there's the issue of Asian religion that's brought out.
Right.
And to that, I want to say, I don't know what you would, like, why you would have to hide that. Like, I mean, I don't understand. There are people in this world who believe other things.
Yeah.
And so unless we plan to lock them all away and not let them show their lives in any way, then we're going to see it. And there's, again, teaching opportunity.
Exactly.
Right? Like, so my kids need to know what I believe, but they need to know why I believe it as well.
Exactly.
Right? It's not simply kids believe this because I say so.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
It's opportunity to talk in the moment. And you see, I think there's scenes where they go into meditation and they start to pray to the ancestors.
Yeah.
And it's just perfect opportunity for me to go to my kids. Okay, you know what, guys? We actually don't pray to our ancestors.
Yeah.
And this is why.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But this desire to hide and muffle and anything that isn't
what we
quote
believe.
unquote of God.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I don't want to say it's dangerous,
Well,
but it's kind of.
Trying to shield our kids from the realities of other religions is silly. It's foolish, and
they're going to go chasing after all that
Yeah.
knowledge if we don't let them have it.
exactly, like, it is not bad for our kids to be exposed to other faith.
And what if your kid became a Buddhist?
Well, yeah.
I mean, you're not going to love them anymore?
Exactly.
I mean, so they become a Buddhist. I want my kids to know the God I serve
Yeah.
themselves. They can't know it based on me. Like, they can't just be like, well, my dad believes in God, so I believe in God.
Yeah.
It's like, go find out for yourself.
Exactly.
And do I trust God enough to show himself to them?
Exactly. I think, honestly, what is at the root of that, between the disobedience and the religion, is fear.
Yes, I agree.
Right? Parents are scared that their kids are going to learn something from this movie and then become that.
Yeah.
Which, have they done that with all the other movies? No. And if our kids are learning that much from movies, then we need to go as parents, okay, I'm clearly missing the mark somewhere because I'm not teaching them.
Exactly.
They're learning all their life lessons from movies.
Oh, absolutely. And that same actual principle goes to teachers and pastors.
Yeah.
Like, if you're saying that all of their learning needs to come from teachers, you're wrong. And if you think that their religion or their spirituality has to be taught by a pastor, you're wrong. You are responsible for all of this.
Yeah.
And so find opportunities to teach.
So again, this movie is a really good chance for you to have a conversation with your kids.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, then I guess don't watch the movie, but
Yeah, no, and again, you don't have to watch the movie or even like it.
no.
But, like, it's the whole making a stance against it thing. Okay.
So there's one more, and this is, like, probably the biggest theme in the whole movie, I think.
That's problematic to people?
I guess, but I don't know if it is, but I want to talk about it because to me it's an important lesson that needs to be talked about.
Okay. Yeah.
Whether people have an issue with this or not.
Oh, it would be unspoken.
Well, it's something that I see that is really valuable and really important. Okay, and that's generational trauma, generational curses.
Yeah.
So the characters, all the women in this family, at some point in their adolescence can become pandas.
Yeah.
Okay, so it goes back to one of their ancestors who was trying to protect her family, and it initially was a blessing. It became a curse.
Yeah.
So they have this ceremony where they are able to contain the panda into an object, so a necklace or a piece of jewelry or something like that. But what we see, if we really want to think deep about this movie, we see this has been a generational curse for every single woman in this family.
Yes.
And Mei Mei is the first person in this family who decides, I don't want this to be a curse.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be traumatic.
Yeah.
I'm going to change it. I'm going to flip it.
Yeah.
And we're going to work through this issue and let it become a blessing.
Yeah, for sure. No, and that speaks to real life. There are
Exactly.
generational curses. You can see it in alcoholism. You can see it in abuse. You can see this thing that is sort of passed down from generation to generation, and there's a tremendous lesson there that you don't have to continue that on.
Exactly.
But we get so hung up on the other things that we're not willing to learn from this movie. So I think that there's something I'd actually want to bring up.
Okay.
That I feel like I see it, and I don't know. I don't want to read too much in, but I don't know. Like, why has The Little Mermaid not been problematic? Why has Brave not been problematic? But suddenly we have a bit of a goofy, atypical hero,
right,
with Asian culture, and now we have a problem.
I know it just seems a little bit convenient.
It just seems off.
Well,
we don't have the same problem with Brave, and Brave is not that long ago.
No,
and she is worse.
Yeah, she is. She's older, but that
doesn't make a difference.
She curses her mother.
May
just wants to be her own person.
Yeah, but we let Brave come around, and we celebrate that she comes around.
Yeah.
May, on the other hand,
we ignore the fact that she comes around and
doesn't look like a princess.
No, she doesn't.
And is that a bit of a mirror of how we treat people in this world?
I think you might be right.
I don't know. It could be my thoughts.
It could be like what's the word? An unconscious thing that people are doing. Unconscious bias, right?
Yeah, for sure. And that's a real thing. What we know is if somebody is attractive in front of a jury, they tend to get less time in prison for the same crime as somebody who is unattractive.
Yeah. So if this character was beautiful and more likable, I guess, in a sense, people probably wouldn't have reacted this way, but they just don't like her because she's kind of quirky. She's weird.
She's dorky, I'm dorky.
Her friends are kind of weird, right? They're not the typical hero, like you said.
Yeah. No, we like our heroes beautiful.
Yeah. And that, it's something to think about.
I think it's something to think about, and I think you don't pass by that.
No.
Now, I'm not making accusations on specific people, but as a world, I do think that that's a problem.
It is a problem. Absolutely. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Did I just end it on a... on a downer?
I don't know. I guess I just want to end it by saying, again, you can make your own decision about this movie.
Yeah.
But I think when we're reading these warnings to parents, and that's how they've been warning to parents.
Oh, yeah.
Can you just take it with a grain of salt and make your own decision about it? Because when we've been given this laundry list of offenses that this movie has, you're going to watch the movie with that in mind, right? And then it completely taints what is really a sweet, cute movie. Not to mention it talks about Canada. They live in Toronto, and that is awesome.
Go Canada.
There's so many great Canadian moments in that movie.
Maybe that's the problem.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, people don't like Canadians.
Yeah.
That's probably the problem.
I didn't never think of that.
No, I just want to mention one quick thing about there's a character, and I never would have known this, but diabetic people have noticed this because there's a little girl who wears a patch, like a diabetic patch, and people are like, "That is amazing!" Yeah, representation.
The thought that goes into that speaks to people.
Exactly, and not only that, we have a female Asian Canadian who has made a really awesome movie, and we should be able to celebrate
Let's celebrate her.
Yes.
What's her name?
I don't know.
Me either.
But she's amazing.
She is amazing. What was the other one she did? She's that short.
Bao. I think I was saying that wrong, but it was so good.
Could be
I loved
Bayo,
it.
like
Lots
Scott.
of people didn't like it, but I loved it.
Yeah. You know what? I think that this was a great movie for, honestly, a lot of love. Just for the humor, for the quality of the work,
so funny.
For the voice acting. There was so much good stuff in there. But I do think that the message was strong.
It was.
And I think there was tons of opportunity to talk about difficult things.
Exactly. Was it perfect? Of course not. No movie is.
No.
There's always going to be something you go,
loved it. It still doesn't make my top whatever.
No, but it was great.
It was great.
And I have zero problem with my kids watching it. And if it, allows for deeper conversations with them, great. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
But if you hate the word gyrate
or sexy,
those are both in the movie.
They are in the movie, yes.
All right. So that's it for us, hey? Thanks for listening to us talk about whatever this movie's called. Turning Red.
Yeah, we loved it. You might disagree, and now you might hate us, but
if you actually hated us for our opinion on this,
well, that's how it's going to be, I guess.
That is how it's going to be.
We're not going to always make everybody happy. So.
No, that's not the point. All right. Again, like it. Like it, subscribe, give us a rating and a review, unless you disagree. Okay.
Yes. And then next week we will be back with our regular episode about how our kids are perfect.
That's right.
Have a good week, everyone.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
I cannot remember